This is the new PC I have. You can see I put in this SSD. There's also this one. There's actually a thermal pad underneath it. This one is not, but this one's actually really good at thermals. Power supply came with this 135 watts, so it's kind of nice. I do actually have these 90-watt power supplies. So I do have these 90-watt power supplies, so I can use that on this one technically. We got the Wi-Fi card here, got 2 SSDs here, and I went to check the CMOS battery. So the CMOS battery seems to be the OEM one, and I'll go ahead and put my multimeter here so you can see it. It will be sideways, yes, but as long as you can read it, it should be fine. Come on, stay. So if I go ahead and put one of these onto a ground, that's a ground there, and I put it on the battery's positive, 3.13 volts. That's actually not flat. That's actually pretty much a brand new battery. 3.1 volts. That's pretty much a brand new battery. And you can see I was testing it in the PC itself. So that's actually kind of surprising. Now I do have this battery tester, which does put a load on it. So we're going to be testing that, but I have a feeling that this battery's pretty much brand new. Yeah, pretty much brand new. This one does put a lot more load, so it's a less accurate, but the battery's pretty much brand new. So, and of course the batteries would have been reset by now, so we'll have to reconfigure everything. But the battery is at least not flat. That's at least good. At least that's not flat. So usually that's what would happen on some of these PCs, is that the battery is flat. Luckily, that doesn't seem to be the case here. That the battery's not flat. Luckily, so I'm gonna put the cover back on. I think this is just the cover they put on here. We do have an internal speaker here. So, but in my TIO monitor, it doesn't use this. And if you wonder where the RAM is, it's actually under the fan. So, if I show you here, so one's HP memory because I swapped it out. This is the original one that came with it. Just a 16 gig stick, and I got another one to put in, and it works. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this back in. So this is actually an AM5 chipset. This uses a Ryzen 7 Pro 8700 GE. So this will have PCIe 4 support, which is why I put this one in, because this is a PCIe 4 right here. So it works. So you can actually see that there is a way to fit 2 of them, but to be honest, how are you supposed to pop this out? Not quite sure, but I'm going to leave this SSD in here. And if I need to replace it, I could just take that out. I guess when I replace it, I'll have to put it over this to put it in. I guess that's what I have to do. But this is actually a 2242 type SSD. It says here Gen 4. This is actually not the original SSD that came with the computer. The original SSD that came with the computer is a 2280 Samsung SSD. But I did look on the Lenovo site, and it is sold out. So that's why they put this one in, which is reasonable because these are the M.2 SSD slots. I am actually kind of astonished they put in a 2242 type size SSD here. So, but I have a 2280 SSD right here, and I can take this one off. Take that off. You can see there's no pads on this one, but this one has really good thermal connectivity. Has slower speed like PCIe 3, but this is PCIe 4. See? Gen 4, so X4. So This is actually really good at thermals. You don't really need a thermal pad with this type of SSD, which is kind of interesting. So you can see there's no piece, there's no like this piece here. I guess this may be where the original SSD used to be. Who knows? So since I knew that these this is the M75Q Gen 5. M75Q Gen 5. I knew that these have two M.2 slots compared to the M75Q Gen 2, which that one has an M.2 slot on the back, and then a 2.5-inch drive right here. We also had a Wi-Fi card, but instead of being oriented like this, it's oriented like this, slot in like this, because this SSDs were not in the way. They only rotated it to make room for these, which makes sense. This is a MediaTek Wi-Fi 6E card. I haven't actually tested the Wi-Fi function of this. I only tested the Bluetooth, and the Bluetooth seemed to be working fine because I was actually using Ethernet, so I didn't need the Wi-Fi card functionality. So it still works though. Still doable. And it is a PCIe Wi-Fi card. For sure. And I just realized something. So for this speaker, I could technically disconnect the speaker from here, but that also mean you'll lose the beep speaker as well. This is also the beep speaker. So if you have any RAM problems, you just do the classic musical tone. I just realized the Wi-Fi tone is actually rooted into that gap. That's actually pretty clever. But you can see, this is the M75Q Gen 5. See, the back is completely sealed. Of course, it's Windows 11. Now, this did not come with it. I actually just pulled it off my other computer to put on here. Because this did not come with the computer, which is fine. It works because these antennas are kind of universal because it's a connector here. So but you can see here, so this is actually the pin for when you want to take the cover off if you want to replace the CPU, which I'm not going to replace the CPU since it's refurbished. This is AM5, so it uses LAN geared array, not pin gridded array. So that's one of the things that I kind of like with the AM5 is that the CPU itself, you don't have to worry about bending the pins anymore because it's no longer on the CPU. You might worry about bending it on the motherboard itself, but motherboards are slightly more cheaper than a CPU for sure. So like a motherboard might be expensive, but a CPU is even more expensive. So you can even see here it says AMD AM5L IL. So, but of course this uses DDR5. When the AM5 chipset came out, it's purely DDR5 only RAM. So you unlike Intel, when the Intel made up to like the 13th gen, they still had compatibility with DDR4 memory. So yeah. One thing you don't actually see here is you don't really see a WAN slot on here, because on the Gen 2 you see the WAN slot. This is just one WLAN slot, not the WAN slot. The two W's, yes. So yeah, you don't see that here. So this is most likely not going to support a 5G modem card. Most likely not going to support it. So but yeah, it's kind of cool that the battery is still like charged. Yeah, and the thing is, this is a reversed motherboard, so everything should be like clean, and it is clean in here. Now on the back, we do have a extra DisplayPort cable, and that's to the iGPU. We do not have any. We do not have any like X16 PCIe slots on here, so you cannot put a discrete graphics card in here, unfortunately. It will be over here usually, and that will also mean since it will be here, if you use it on a tiny one monitor, it's always going to use the iGPU. So, yeah. But however, the iGPU on here actually supports ray tracing, so I'm not too angry about this. This one does support ray tracing. It's like pretty. It kind of matches my custom PC, which has an RTX 2070 Super. Yes, it is an aging processor, but unfortunately, I cannot build a new PC now. RAM prices have skyrocketed, and it's also why I still have these RAMs. I did not sell these off with a framework motherboard because these are much more expensive, and I want to save them. Because if you look here, this one only had 2 8GB sticks in here to make it 16 gigabytes. But like I said, since RAM prices are skyrocketing and be the price of a GPU, I don't want to sell this off because these are so expensive now. And framework, I think, don't sell these separately anymore.